And we've got our good friend Dudley Dawson bring the Razorbacks for decades. And Dudley, here it is. I mean, I know you covered Arkansas State in terms of baseball. These programs played basketball, you got to kind of forget. But in terms of football, especially somebody who's from the part of the state that you are, this has to really be home for you.
Yeah, it really is something I never thought I'd see, and excited that it is happening. I know that a lot of people disagree with me, but I have always wanted them to play, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. I understand where Coach Sproles was on his stance, but I think it's a different era now. And all that being said, I think it may be the one and only time they play in football, especially at Little Rock.
What do you want, Dudley? I know that we did a lot of talk about the game one. It was kind of more of a jamboree type of game. There wasn't never really in doubt. How do you see this one going, and what are some of the things you're going to be looking for?
Well, it may sound strange since they only had 160 yards after that first touchdown drive, Alabama A&M I'm talking about. But I want to see the Arkansas defense come out and be a little bit more forceful at the start. Kind of shut things down, get a 3-and-out, and give the ball back to their offense and be able to win this one handily. Now, that may not be the case, but if I was a coach for Arkansas, that's what I'd want to see. I want to see that second level play a little bit better. It wasn't a perfect game for sure. It wasn't either as bad as the cool people who want to say who want to be negative was either. I think it was kind of a typical game one in which you see some things you like and which you see some things you got to fix.
Yeah, I agree with you. 52-7. I mean, that's what you want to see. In week one, there's going to be a couple mistakes. What did you think of our running game? I thought the receivers and Taylor Green looked like he was the best player on the field. I like how the receivers caught the ball with their hands and get some yards after catch. So there's some weird science out there. Some receivers, as soon as they catch the ball, it's like their feet don't work anymore and they fall down. So I was impressed with how athletic we looked on the outside.
Yeah, and having done it for real behind the center, you know a lot more about me. But, what I thought I saw was somewhat vanilla offense. That sounds strange when you throw 6 touchdown passes and, drop them off to a lot of different runners. I think the running game will be a little bit better this week. I think they'll focus on it a little bit more. I think we're going to continue to see the offense under Bobby Petrino expand as they run through this gamut of, it seems like, a better football team each week. Until you get to Notre Dame. This is the part of the season. This is a game you have to win. There's no doubt about it. Arkansas State is a good football program. Having grown up in Newport, I went to plenty of games over there, much more than I did Arkansas games early on because it was 30 minutes from my house as opposed to 4.5 hours. It's a good football program. I think Butch Jones has done a really nice job over there. They've got some playmakers. You better show up ready to play. I'm not sure that this roster knows how, the history and all that. I'm sure they've said some things to them. There's not to be honest, there's not a lot of Arkansas players as there used to be on the Arkansas roster.
Or on the Arkansas State roster.
I think that's what he meant, Arkansas State.
There's only 12 or 11 for number it is. It's one or the other. And so you talk about the meaning of this game. The meaning of the game for the teams, I think it's just a matter of...
It's a David-Goliath matchup.
Yeah.
Still, you're looking at it that... Because here's what I think. You think about this, Dudley. I think you'll agree with this. 40 years ago, kids that grew up in Texas and came to Arkansas, they came to Arkansas because Texas didn't want them, because Texas overlooked them. Same concept back then. Kids went to Arkansas State because Arkansas didn't want them or didn't look at them. But I think that's a bygone era from what you're saying.
Yeah, I agree. I throw Oklahoma and Oklahoma State in there in the mix and what you were saying with that dynamic. But yeah, I look at each year, following recruiting. I look each year and see what the other schools in the state have done, and it always seems to me like Arkansas State, maybe not having a top 25, top 30 class, always gets a lot of really good players that I've had the opportunity to see play high school ball that were just right there on the cusp of getting an Arkansas offer and would go around with a chip on their shoulder. And also they've gotten some guys that have transferred in. They're using the portal as well. Quez Cross is a young man who I thought was going to be an outstanding college player, went to Purdue, He's now here at Arkansas State, and he'll be one of the focal points for the Arkansas defense on Saturday. And it's just the difference in I was actually talking with a fellow Newport alum and Governor Mike Beebe and Dean Lee, who's been on both sides, an athletic director at Arkansas State and Razorback Foundation vice president here. The difference in college athletics and the level is a little bit different than it was when Arkansas was in the Southwest Conference in the 70s, and Arkansas State was having a great record, but obviously in a different caliber football team than Arkansas was at that point.
I see Arkansas and State playing again, but I don't know if I see Arkansas playing in Little Rock again. And I don't think there'd ever be anything that would force the two programs to play each other the same way that there is in South Carolina, because those are two programs that are pretty much at the same level with Clemson and South Carolina. You can't say that with Arkansas and Arkansas State. There's not going to be anything that nudges these two programs to each other. But
yeah, I agree. And I've done a lot of
Well, I've
made a lot of calls this week, but my bad.
No, I want to let you go, but I want to know who controls the idea of who plays in Little Rock, if there are any negotiations scheduled or anything, because I don't know if they're going to play here again.
From what I have heard from sources, this game is happening because it's going to be the last one, and they wanted to go out with a bang, and that's certainly, I think that's something that seems accurate to me. One of the things that I would say is that it used to be the place that Arkansas needed to play football games. It is not anymore. And I want to make sure I state this clear. If you've got a full house in Fayetteville, you're making a lot more money than you are if you have a full house at War Memorial Stadium. We've talked a lot the last few years about the game in Texas A&M and not having a home game out of that. You used to have a time when you play 4 games in Little Rock, and now, as you said, I think it's going to come down to they may play Arkansas State again, but I don't think they're going to play it in Little Rock, and that's kind of sad to me. But also, I realize full well what a business college athletics is right now, and especially in this pay-for-play era, you have to work it out. As far as who's making those decisions, you can look around at successful companies all over the state of Arkansas. Those people are making a decision, although there's some people who involved in the process as well, on the Arkansas side.
The thing that he hit on there, Matt, the thing that the people have been saying for years, but there was an idea that it wasn't necessary. The bottom line, the amount of revenue that you're bringing into your programs is so important to keep growing it and growing it. I mean, look at this back raffle. They're this week as well. I mean, how much do you think you're getting? What are you paying for when the school, I think, made a little over $90,000? How much? What are you going to get for that? The difference in intake or income from games here in Little Rock and in Fayetteville is monumental. You'd have to guarantee, I don't know, $2 million to be able to put the difference. I'm just guessing. But in this day and age, maybe it's not even a matter of playing in Little Rock. You can't Little Rock.
College football is a business, and it's even more of a business now, and it's not like it used to be. I will, if they don't ever play in Little Rock again, I'll be sad because I have a lot of great memories of that. But also, now that I'm 62 and have a lot of great memories from being up here, I realize the situation has to go on and how things are going to be done. In terms of adding revenue, and we all can gripe about seating and donation levels and all that, but this is not the only program asking people to do that. And if you're going to keep up with the Joneses, you have to do what the Joneses do, and that is outlay money to players and win.
Hey, when you're looking around the rest of college football this week, you get Ole Miss to try to avenge what happened last year going to Lexington. You got Michigan coming down to Norman to play Oklahoma. What other games kind of tickle your fancy this weekend?
I like the Oklahoma-Michigan game. I think Oklahoma, with John Mateer, I think has a really good chance to win that game. I think Kentucky is falling off the cliff, so I think that's going to be rout coming up. In terms of other games, it's certainly not the eclectic mix it was this first week. There's some minor games that you'll take a look at, but I really feel like that this second week of games with SEC teams seems like the first week that it used to be to me when you play in your cupcake to win and get some experience in. I don't think this is as good a weekend as last weekend.
Well, Ole Miss is coming up next, and that's the SEC league game, getting Kentucky.
Yeah.
But I was looking at who picked Kentucky Survivor Series last week.
I think that was I had Mississippi State. Yeah,
it was me. The only game Kentucky wins this year.
I think you might have been on to something right there.
First points they gave up, Dudley, was in the end zone, a safety. I think they threw for 70 yards. Franzetta. Not going to look very good for Kentucky, and then you're going to get Ole Miss and thinking pretty good about themselves.
Yeah, Austin Simmons seems to be the real deal down there at Ole Miss. Keep rolling quarterbacks through there.
Hey, did you watch? Oh, you did. You were in on Dave's conference, DVH, a fall preview for what they got coming up. And, the thing I hadn't really thought about is just that there are fewer players. So of course, you're going to play against other teams instead of yourself. And it sounds to me like, from building these games. No, don't move that food away. You will take that food away from me over my dead body. Thank you very much. No, I'm going to eat that during commercial breaks. I tell people, don't take the food. It's there for a reason. You want, I think they're trying to build a starting rotation. Not quite sure who's going to do it, and the best way to do it is to have 3-inning games, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah, you're going to have, it sounds like Friday and Saturday scrimmages, 4 total, 12 innings total. As you said, 2 3-inning games. I'm fine with that. And in a situation where you lost so many starters and you have so many guys that could be starters but have had roles as relievers and middle relievers and some that, are brand new in here, I think it's the way to go. As a baseball purist, I'd love 9 innings and all that, but I know that what you need to do is be ready at the end of the year. And they've got several injuries that they're working around, and also these pitchers, you want to get their feet wet, but you don't want to overwork them.
Yeah, don't worry about the structure of games too much because the games that count are always going to be 9 innings long. NFL starts tonight, Dudley. It's like, I guess you don't have NFL on Saturday, but it was nice to have college football days in a row. So we'll get, 4 of the next 5 days, there'll be NFL games because of the game in Brazil tomorrow and then all day Sunday. I guess there's no Monday night game. That's right. So your Cowboys tonight, man, is it going to be like I think what I'm still expecting for Arkansas football is like, I hope he can get to 35 points on a routine basis.
Yeah, well, here's what I'd tell you. I didn't have great expectations before the Parsons trade. I certainly don't have great expectations for it now. I go into this game just wanting to look good against Philadelphia. Philadelphia's a great football team, has a chance to win another Super Bowl. All you need to know about how I'm thinking about this NFL season is that usually I load up my fantasy teams with Cowboys, and this year I've loaded up on a lot of Washington Commanders and Philadelphia Eagles. So that should tell you how I feel about the division.
Well, we see the agent saying Parsons never leave the Cowboys. Now I know you cover the Razorbacks, but I think you separate from fandom and covering them. The teams that you wear in your sleeves, I know. Celtics, Cardinals, Cowboys. When you hear Parsons never wanted to leave, I think Matt made a great point. What did he really want? Did he want to be a Cowboy first and foremost, or did he want to be the highest paid non-quarterback? I think the answer is very easy to see.
In this day and age, it will always be about the bag, as the young kid said, and he got his bag as full as he could, and I don't believe anything coming out of the owner's mouth, the general manager's mouth, and the player's mouth, and certainly not the agent's mouth. I was always cautious that this was going to happen. But Jerry just plays with fire all the time, and they have agents for a reason. So, work through them, get it done. Or if you can't get it done, just quit talking.
You don't always win your first bet. That's why MyBookie has you covered. Use our code HOGS, H-O-G-S, and your first bet up to $500 is fully covered. If your pick doesn't hit, you get it right back with our Bet Back bonus. Go to mybookie.ag and use the code HOGS to claim your Bet Back bonus. MyBookie's, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing in is better. And your first bet is fully covered. Use our code HOGS.
Got a little jingle